Awesome. So, let's see how we're all doing here. Um, I thought I was supposed to be on this. I don't know if I'm actually live or not on that. Um, shit. Where was my? Where was my haha for the day? Oh, damn. Well, I guess this will be my haha for the day. Welcome, welcome. I am Kep, coming to you here from the greater Cedar Rapids, Iowa area. And look, we got a lot of stuff going on in Iowa. We'll get into a lot of that. Um, a lot of things started moving this weekend and today. Uh, Being Tuesday, started the work week because, well, we all had the weekend off. Well, most of us did. It was Labor Day weekend. Hope you all celebrated great. Uh, I drink lots of milk because I love milk. So, I always like starting things off with ha-has. I love good, good memes. I like to laugh. Um, Kind of helps me cope with the reality of all the politics and how that's all been played out in our lives and everything. I guess when you eat that red pill, fuck, it's hard to go back. It's hard to put yourself back into it. But so we like to laugh. We like to make jokes about things. This is kind of the American way. It goes back to, it used to be the British way. Now they're a bunch of fucking pussies because, well, they just arrested somebody else for some mean tweets or mean posts on Facebook or something. Uh, Again, but we used to be able to take insults and go with them. The Brits were called limeys, and they just went with it back in the 14, 15, 16, 14, late 1400s, 1500s, 1600s, 1700s, because they always had limes with them. Because, well, they learned that if you keep up with vitamin C, you can keep away a lot of these diseases. Excuse me. Allergy season is amongst us here in Iowa, and this is kind of a bad year so far. Things could change, but it's been kind of wet. So, but anyway, I forgot kind of what I was talking about. But we like to laugh. Oh yeah, the names, and then when we had the revolution going on, we the Brits called us all a bunch of Yankees over here, and well, we're still going with that term. So you gave term redneck to people that working class people that can live off the land and shit. Okay, we'll take that name. Hillary Clinton tried calling us all a bunch of deplorables. Okay, we're a bunch of fucking deplorables. So be it. I'll take that. Oh my, I need to do some trimming. But anyway, yeah, the Democrats love blaming everything on Trump, and if it's not Trump, then it's climate change. Everything's climate change. we got an inch more rain. That's climate change. You know, big hoaxes have been hearing this shit our whole lives. We were born during the time period of the new ice age is coming. The ice age is coming, and then it became, well, the smog and the acid rain, and it was going to ruin everything, and it just keeps going on and on. Al Gore's been proven wrong so many damn times, but it's just kind of funny. His shoelace broke. Most people blame Donald Trump, but I know it's actually because of climate change. You know, it's stupid, stupid shit like that makes you look ridiculous. You know, 9 out of 10 climate scientists agree that climate change is real. But then, if you really look at those numbers, 9 out of those 9 that voted for that get government funding, taxpayer funded money. So, if the money is there to keep on with this charade of climate change, because it's not global cooling, it's not global warming like we thought it was going to be. It's just climate change. So, but they don't want to lose their funding, and this helps boost funding, and uh, ends up putting more money, taxpayer monies, in a lot of people's pockets. I mean, look at the uproar with the big beautiful bill. I mean, it pissed Elon off that they're we're going to get rid of that subsidy of your electric car company. We're not going to subsidize solar. We're not going to subsidize wind generation, which we've all been duped, especially here in Iowa, where we do get a good chunk of our freaking electricity from wind generation, but it's at a very high cost. Um, I know at one point in time, Alliant Energy was looking to invest $1 billion. Where were they going to get that money? Well, we've got some set aside, which was government grants, and that they also needed to raise our rates, and it was a pretty good amount on our rates. It's like, well, okay, if you got these all then built, then our rates are going to go back down once we've recouped. No, okay, so those rates aren't going to go down. Oh, excuse me, god damn fucking allergies, holy shit. But so we're paying for that electricity then, and it's added to for the maintenance and footing the cost of putting these things up. But then our tax money that you're paying in weekly, monthly, or whatever on your federal taxes is also going to that, and it goes to the tune of lots and lots of money, because these things are unsustainable. They have a lot normal life, like 10, 15 years, maybe longer, 20 years we'll give them. But last I knew, and this was pre-COVID, pre-inflation, it was roughly $55,000 a year just to maintain one. So obviously those costs have gone up. You're probably looking at close to $100,000 per wind turbine to actually maintain it over that 10 years. That's $1 million over a 20-year span. You could be talking more, because you're trying to get the longevity out of it. And so your maintenance costs might go up. You might be replacing a few more parts here and there inside that generator. I'm not for sure. Uh, but obviously, as long as the blades don't get a shit ton of damage, like from a hurricane or a tornado, which was really fun to see, uh, The blades will last for a million years or better, at least. So, uh, but it's sad because yeah, we pay double on this, and now if we're not going to be subsidizing these electric companies through our tax money, now what are they going to do? Are they going to? I know they're talking about nuclear again here. We did have a nuclear plant that was kind of shut down a few years ago, decommissioned earlier than it was, and they might be actually be working on recommissioning it again. Uh, we've got a lot of server. Google's putting a thing in here and shit, so we're gonna need more power, and wind ain't gonna cut it. Excuse me, excuse me, excuse me. So I guess we'll start off this week. Message to everybody. We've kind of heard over the weekend rumors start flying Friday that Joni Ernst was going to step down as senator. She has be ending her second term next year, and which is good. I know she had told Simon Conway on WHO that if she were to win, that she would not push past two terms. Not like our other senator, Chuck Grassley, which is in his, I don't know how many fucking goddamn terms he's been in. There's rumors said that he might consider running again, and this would be in 2028, I do believe. It's like, are you fucking kidding me? You'd be like 94, 95 years old. Get the fuck out of there. I did not want him running the last time. It was time for him to step down, but excuse me. But anyway, um, kind of here to talk a little bit here. Um, sorry. Yeah, she served, which is great. She's the first combat veteran to serve, woman combat veteran to serve in Congress, and she was also our first woman senator, I do believe, uh, in Iowa. So, and I commend her. That's great. You were stepping away after two terms. You did keep your word that you said 13, about yeah, about 12 years ago, I guess now, maybe 11, yeah, something like that, years ago, and that's great. I think senators should be kept to two terms. That's each term is 6 years. That's 12 years in that position, uh, and then rightfully, I think the House should be limited to. I'm saying 5 terms. That would give them 10 years. Uh, and obviously, if the census was actually accurate, we would only be redistricting every 10 years anyway, unless you see a drastic change of migration from one state to the next, or like we're seeing here in this country, mass migration out of the country. Which I would still would love to know what these numbers actually are of how many people are getting deported. Um, how many of these people are actually taking the $1,000 and the free trip home? Uh, I don't think the White House has released that. I need to. I've talked about that before. I need to do that again. Uh, but that's good for her. Now, because of that, um, our representative for the Cedar Rapids area, northeastern Iowa, the areas where I grew up, Ashley Hinson. Now she is announcing that she is going to run for Senate in 2026 rather than run for U.S. House District 2 for Iowa. Um, so that kind of opens that whole seat up to new, fresh blood. So what do we see here? I know I launched a campaign a couple of years ago in 2024 for that spot. I did have a website. That's about all I did. I did hook up with some people here that tried to promote me a little bit. I did not get any sponsorship. I don't. I'm blue collar worker. I work paycheck to paycheck for the most part. A lot of the time, so I don't have time to get out there and shake hands and let get myself really known and the platform I was on. I have no idea how how many people were watching. I know they've been established, so but I didn't get to see the analytics of it. I just went by what they were saying. So, uh, which that'd be great if I got those people, same people. But um, I mean, we're in 2025. We got time. I really don't. I don't know. I don't know if I want to do it. Again, I don't think I'm going to be the best person because look, everything's televised now. Nobody really remembers what actually went on in Congress. We had open floor debates for the most part. You had screaming matches on the House floor, people calling each other names, especially when we're talking uh, the 13th Amendment time frame during the Civil War and then into Reconstruction. There was a lot of name calling going back and forth. Now, not too many people wrote about it because this is how Congress acts. I mean, this is how uh, you get in heated arguments. Uh, you try not to have it come to fists and violence, but I mean, we had duels at the beginning of the country over different things. Uh, Famously, one of our possibly vice presidents could have been considered a murderer for killing Alexander Hamilton in a duel. So, excuse me. Oh, so that would kind of be me. You know, when you got people going off, and you see it. Oh, it's always out of these lefties that they think I was right. I like to hear my voice. I am right. I'm right. I'm right. I'm right. I'm right. I'm right. You're wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong. No. I mean, hey, 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 hey! Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. We can speak in turns. But you ain't gonna be sitting there trying to talk over top of me. I guess we're more civilized and established, but maybe that's the reason why I wouldn't fit in so well. So, damn. Um, where else was there anything more I had on that? No, but yeah, that good for her. She can leave. Um, I really have lost a lot of respect for her. I had really gone downhill a lot since, especially since 2020, right after she got reelected, and the Hegseth thing kind of pushed me over the edge with her. Uh, she had no right to even question what Trump wanted for his picks. Uh, she is not going like she said she's doing this for family. I don't see that happening. I see with I don't know if she wants to do it right away, but I know she has to have job opportunities from like Raytheon, or what was another one, uh, Boeing. She's been on the defense committee for a long time, so she's got connections. She's higher ranked in the military. I think she reached colonel or something like that in the National Guard, obviously deployed, whatnot. But like I said, she's sit on armed forces committees, and so she's going to one of these defense contractors. I guarantee you. I don't know when she's going to announce it. It'd be kind of foolish to announce it right now. I would probably say, about this time next year. Give it about a year. Within the next year, she's going to announce that she's going to be taking this job as a consultant. You know, and this is where, again, I would push for. She's got security clearances. Yeah, you're not a senator anymore. You do not need any more fucking clearance unless you are given clearance for a certain subject. Other than that, you've lost your clearance. You lose your connections in the military and whatnot. You are not. You are a fucking civilian now. You should not have access to anything, especially classified information. Not that they receive 100% of the classified information, but they can get tidbits because of the fact that they have the fucking clearance levels. You know, my dad had held one of the higher clearance levels, uh, pretty much as high as what she has, and that was, for eyes only, and that was pretty good. So, but we'll go on from there. Let's get rid of that. That's the shooting. Get rid of that, and so I guess a lot of this is this week is all about crime and violence everywhere. Excuse me. Let me try to blow my fucking nose. Yeah, I know. I sound like a goddamn elephant. Um. So, uh, yeah, we'll get back into the shooting bullshit. I forgot to pull up that one video. Um, Sebastian Gorka with one of these lefty idiots on CNN and um, trying to use we we've had at least over the last 30 shootings or so. There's been like 9 of them have been transsexual weirdos, including one here in Iowa. But they were using weird data and whatnot. Uh, Again, I've already forgotten what this person's name is. I don't want to look up their photo again. Obviously, a person just filled with a lot of fucking hatred. Uh, and then wishing at the end that he hadn't wished he had not had transitioned, and maybe that's a lot to do with it. I just don't get that if your mother was worked in this Catholic church, shit like this, how the fuck you turned out that way. But who am I to judge? Especially if he grew up Catholic. Uh, but this is type shit I want to see. That's that's 100% what I want to fucking see. It's our teachers are allowed to here in Iowa. We did allow that. The problem then is the school districts that want to implement this to allow teachers to carry, staff members to carry on campus, they can't get insurance for anything else then. So they can't really do anything because your kid slips and falls in the school. It, it, Technically, it's the school's fault. I had a couple of injuries. I'm not for sure how the bill ended up paying out, but I would think at this point in time the insurance company is going to say if you had full coverage, well, if this happened on their property, you slipped and fell on the ice in front of the building, they're at fault. So who pays for that? Well, are the taxpayers on the hook, or no? We pay an insurance premium to have insurance coming out of that. Well, insurance doesn't want to carry them because now they might have to pay a wrongful death or a death claim to the perpetrator's family, which again, I don't understand how the fuck that works. That your your cousin goes in and shoots up a whole bunch of people and gets killed by the cops, and then you sue the cops for killing him. Why? How? You know, it, and we did kind of draw a real dangerous precedence with being able to go after, for one, in the Sandy Hook incident, going after gun manufacturers for what their tool can do to people. But again, that could have been stopped. Well, if you're like me with Sandy Hook, it never happened to start off with. Alex Jones was framed. I there's way too much. We can do a whole there. We've got a whole bunch of information on that, and I'm not scared of that. If I had some people join up and we want to go down the rabbit hole of Sandy Hook, I love the Sandy Hook thing because that really opened my eyes up to a lot of the conspiracy being accurate. So, uh, but yeah, like this shooter up in Minnesota had even pointed out, he chose his target. It's a soft fucking target. He did not want to go before school when their kids are being dropped off. Didn't want to go after school when kids are being picked up. I mean, yeah, granted, there's a lot of targets, but there's parents. He was too scared that parents might actually be armed. So, and it's a Catholic school. These parents are paying pretty good money to send their kids there. So it wouldn't surprise me none that there are a lot of right leaning uh, citizens that are probably exercising their Second Amendment right. And he's right. So, but then during the daytime, what do you have for protection? Nothing. You lock the doors. Okay. Well, we've seen in the one in Tennessee where she shut the fucking door, went glass out, and snuck in anyway. I mean, if you have the right glass with the wires and shit in it, that might help, but not 100%. Uh, but we have soft targets. We have gun-free zones, so everybody feels safe. Well, that's what in military terms you would call a soft target, where you can get the max amount of casualties with less effort. So, I grew up right towards the end of it where yeah, we had kids that had rifles in their trucks at school because hunting season, shotguns, usually it was shotguns because we didn't have much for rifle season around here. I guess 410 could be considered. It's more of a shotgun than anything, but um, yeah, we need to make that sane again. We also need to address the fact that with gun rights that I can carry, I can conceal carry my gun here in Iowa. I can carry it in uh, Nebraska into Colorado. I can carry it in Indiana, Ohio, Wisconsin, Missouri, Tennessee, Kentucky. I can't carry it in Illinois. I can't carry it in Minnesota because I'm missing one step for their thing. Obviously, I can't carry anything in California, but there really needs to be on that a national concealed carry permit. You just go through your sheriff like you normally would and get your permit, and yeah, that becomes your national database for concealed carry. Uh, I shouldn't have to go through. It's not that I can't carry my weapon through Illinois. I just have to more or less disassemble the damn thing and make it unusable in case of an emergency. So little things we need to work on. But yeah, armed staff, I 100% agree with this. The insurance companies, I think, need to back the fuck off. Let these people uh, quit trying to fuck the taxpayers on this that are trying to keep our kids safe. You're not going to have as many problems. I guarantee you're not going to have problems. If somebody knows that there's going to be armed resistance, especially this mindset of kids that are doing this, the 16, 14 to what, 22, 23 years old, 24 years old, very feeble minds. I mean, the insurance company says you're not an adult till you're 25 for your vehicle insurance. It's when you get the biggest break. So, um, yeah, we need to keep these kids protected, and this is what we need. We need to have that everybody's armed. Um, Speaking of that, we go into one of the girls that was shot there. Had to have one side of her skull removed, and that's ouch. Hopefully she lives. what do you do? I mean, she was shot probably because she was looking out for somebody else. That school had implemented the buddy system where the older kids were told to, in situations, literally shove your buddy to the ground. And that's why the older kids were the ones that got hit, not the younger ones, thankfully. So, um, yeah. So you have that. But, and then we get into the DC crime waves. Excuse me. That's fucking depressing. But the crime in DC, the whole Trump weaponizing the National Guard bullshit. Yeah, no, he hell, he is governor of that town, so uh, he does have control of that. And they're cleaning up the streets. Now, yes, I have seen the fucking posts. I've seen these idiot, lunatic lefties that have no motherfucking clue what the fuck goes on in the military. They never will. They're not going to understand. But you know, you see these pictures out. Look at that. The National Guard is out picking up trash. Yep, yep. You do that a lot when you're in the military. I was never in, but I speak to a lot of people that were. Um, and I swear, I did go through Boy Scouts, and I swear our Boy Scouts was like the military. It was ran by Vietnam vets. So yeah, um, we did a lot of picking up trash. We did a lot of in certain situations for ranking up and whatnot. We had a lot of hurry up and wait. One instance was we had to get going. We had to be there to start this ceremony. Yeah, we had to sit there in silence for like 6 hours straight as people walked by, going to lunch and everything else. That's hard. Like freaking 10 and 12 year old, 10 to 12 year, 11 year olds, 12-year old. That was fun, but yeah. Anyway, um, yeah, they do a lot of odds and ends shit. Helping. I seen one where their guy was helping an old lady down the stairway case 'cause she had a walker. You know, yeah, this is what the military does, especially in National Guard. But look at your statistics. I mean, they're going a week with only one killing. You get on the TikToks and you see the and YouTube and stuff like that. You see these people just praising it. Look at that. The subways are clean. I'm not hearing shouting. I'm not hearing gunshots. It's really getting cleaned up. Now this isn't a permanent thing with the 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 National Guard. Now Trump will never do that. I know these motherfucking lefties think, "Ooh, this is what a tyrant does. He's going to control the military." Well, first off, motherfuckers, you don't understand he is commander in chief. It means he is in charge of the military. Uh, no, he can't declare war on the country, but technically he can move the military anywhere he wants to inside the country. Um, so, but now there's screams and hollerings for to go to help clean up Chicago. You know, but yeah, I mean these lefties are just blowing up. Oh, it's too safe now. We have military people standing around. Yeah, fuck off, you dumb cunts. Uh, you got people in Chicago, they desperately want help, and you got Pritzker, the fat ass governor. That I don't know, no, we don't need any help. You're not going to be sending the National Guard into Chicago. Chicago's under control. The mayor, the racist ass fucking Johnson, the mayor there, that fucker. Uh, I mean, really interesting. If, Hamid Dillon's got something on him for uh, his tactics, hiring practices, and money distributions as mayor. But holy shit, I can kind of see. Uh, but yeah, DC's getting safer. Uh, yeah. Now this New York Post is claiming 54 shots, 7 killed in Chicago. I like to follow this HeyJackass.com. This is their map of Chicago that they're using. Uh, Now they have 9 killed, 51 wounded. The other one was 54 shot, 7 killed. No, we don't need any help. We don't need no help. Don't cancel me for that bullshit either. This site's great. They keep track of a lot of the trends year to year and whatnot. Uh, and yeah, right now Chicago's actually down, and it's actually getting a little bit better. We kind of peaked out there for a while, and the Summer of Love and the Summer of Love 2.0. But my thing here is a lot of this violence is it's black on black crime, and it doesn't get a lot of news. But we threw a huge hissy fit over this mass shooting up in Minnesota, the mass shootings in Columbine, and all these other schools. Um, Even the movie theater, Aurora, Colorado, Pulse nightclub, the San Bernardino Valley shooting of the Apple employees or something like that. But we always talk about that, but we don't talk about the mass shootings that go on in these inner cities. The big headlines, 51 to 54 people shot, over 50 people killed in a weekend. Now, it just kind of a little bit depends on where you include your weekends at. So, this place is starting Friday afternoon. I think at like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, they start. And then they go till like the following, like if it's a regular weekend, they go to Monday at like 8 o'clock. Um, so they might gain a. Well, they had less shot than them. Anyway, but that's not the point. The point of this is we don't talk about these mass shootings. We're really concerned about that mass shooting up there. I get it. That's fucking terrible. But we don't talk about this. Here's. Whoops. We'll go here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people shot. 2 females, 5 males, all shot in one shooting. That's a mass shooting. I don't think deaths matter in a mass shooting. It's still it's 3 or more victims. 3 plus victims is a mass shooting. So there's one. This was Saturday at 11 o'clock at night. Sunday morning, so we're not even, we're go 2 hours later, exactly 2 hours later, and there's 4 people that are shot and killed. Shot. I'm sorry, not killed. Shot. Mass shooting. That's 3. Here's one that actually included death. A half hour later. 3 people shot, 1 died. 3 males. So what are we up to? One, two, three mass shootings. We'll go on a little bit. Here we'll come up to Labor Day itself. 5 wounded after machine gun fire rips through a large gathering near the Southside Park. There's 5. So that's 4 mass shootings in these 50 plus people that got shot over the weekend, over this nice 3-day weekend. And then you get on there and say you don't have a problem. Well, and it's not always his fault. I get that. I mean, we can go through here. Where was their totals? Oh, they used to have. Oh, over here. You know, it's not like they don't have a lot of homicides. I mean, 4 years, 3,000 people died under Lori Lightfoot in 4 years while she was mayor. You know, there's a 20-year span. You got 11,000 murders. There's always been a lot of murders in Chicago. Been a lot of gang shit in Chicago, and I'm not talking the gangs from now. I'm talking the old mobsters, the Al Capones and stuff. There was a lot of crime in Chicago. There was a lot of murders that probably never even got reported. Capone loved Iowa. He loved coming here, but uh, yeah, we're not going to say nothing about all these mass shootings. And is the National Guard going in there and helping clean up? Is that going to help? To a point. Um, what's going to help more is if the National Guard goes in there, they need to help ICE. They need to help deport the illegals. That's the biggest problem right now there. I think if they saw the federal government can actually come in and actually help out, actually get rid of illegals, um, and just help reinforce the laws for a little bit. Uh, we need law and order. We need accountability for people that do get arrested. You know, not too many of these people actually get uh, convicted. Um, how many of these actually get um, solved? You know, I don't know. That they don't put on here. Yeah, they here's your mass shootings. The hat trick was just 3. You've had 32. 10 times you've had 4 people shot. 3 times 5 people. 1 time 6 people. 3 times 7 people got shot. One time they had 18 people shot, 4 killed in that one incident. But that didn't even hardly make it through the freaking weekend news cycle. So, but it's bad. Is the National Guard going to actually help out? I don't know. I think the biggest problem right now is we need to keep concentrated on getting rid of the uh, deporting all these illegals, and I mean all the illegals. I don't care if it's just the violent ones. I don't know if you're violent or not. For one, you're here illegally, so that tells me you've broken the law. So I don't want to trust you beyond that. You don't want to do things the right way. And I don't feel sorry for people that have been here for 20 years and they don't have a fucking citizenship yet. Get off your fucking ass and do something. Sorry. Um, and the biggest thing, and you got all these lefties bitching and complaining my cat's going to walk in front of everybody. Hey, fuzzy butt. He doesn't mind. He really doesn't mind. He doesn't mind at all. Mr. Newscomb been bitching about the well. Look at if you look at all these the red states that have the highest crime, they have the highest murder rates, like Alabama and Arkansas. Arkansas has I mean, we don't care about that. That I get that. I really do. We're looking at cities though. The top 15 cities are all run by Democrats and have been run by Democrats for a very long time. I don't think Washington D.C. has been run by anything but a Democrat. So that town was just fucked from the get go. Um, yeah, they, New York's not even on here. That's what's funny. New York is actually down, and New York's been underneath Democrat control for a while. But that's what it boils down to. It's the towns. It's the towns. You know, if you're bitching about Alabama having a high murder rate, or even Tennessee, we'll take Tennessee. Well, yeah, you're including Memphis in there, which is a Democrat-run town. Just because the state's red, you know, everywhere else it's down, but the whole state suffers because one city. It's the same way with Ohio. Georgia's really bad too. Missouri, Missouri's screwed because you've got St. Louis and you got Kansas City, both in the top 15. Red state, two towns have the whole murder rate. Cats are weird. So, what else is going on? This is what we mean by accountability. When you got somebody that has been making death threats repeatedly on social media, and then you let them go. Now, I get that it's still kind of a white collar crime that it's a hate speech. I hate using the word hate speech thing, but yeah, I mean a verbal threat against the president. Yeah, we kind of got to take this shit serious. I guess I don't know. She could dig her, let her dig herself even deeper. Let her out. She's not going to actually go through with this. But the problem is this entices other people to do it because there's no rhetoric from the left to tone everything down. We gotta violence is their key point, and we're trying not to become violent. You don't want us to become violent. Uh, you know, we look around at shit like this where you know compound bows that could shoot balls also. Uh, so at a steel ball at up to 460 feet per second. Yeah, and arrow speed up to about 380 feet per second. So you're not going to hear that when it hits you through your head. Ha ha. Allegedly, allegedly. Uh, one little thing. Trinidad, we've designated them as a foreign terrorist organization. Um, we have sent ships down to the Caribbean and whatnot to take a better, closer look at Maduro. We've got a bounty out on his head. He is a dictator of Venezuela. Twice he has been re-elected. But again, they're using the same Dominion machines that screwed our elections up here. He got instilled in power. Nobody wants him in power. Uh, he's responsible for mass murder and a lot of bad stuff. Besides the drug trafficking, the child sex trafficking, it's he's a dictator. There, They live in a socialist dictatorship in Venezuela. It's not pretty, uh, but we want to here we go again being the police again, but the people need to rise up. The people need to take back their country. And sometimes I guess we need to help them out just a little bit. I don't support this because this is again another opportunity for more oil to go into the market. Again, I would rather see our oil being used everywhere and everybody just uses our oil and we become rich and screw every other country. But anyway, we've been keeping an eye on their Tren de Aragua. They're these fucking terrorists. They're the ones running the shit over there in Colorado, the apartments and whatnot. So I don't know why my thing keeps shutting off, but anyway, we've been keeping an eye on them. We did do a strike. We've got some video footage. It's been unclassified. We took out 11 of these little fuckers. Obviously, they're in a looks like 4 engines on this fucking boat. So it was go fast. And yeah, let's watch this. It's kind of there's not any sound to it either, is there? Obviously, these videos is probably from a Predator, Reaper, whatever drone footage. Few 100 miles. Boom. Targeted attack. Quick, easy. They are all dead, and they are not going to be moving anything from there. So that was kind of fun. That's kind of fun. Uh, so we'll talk just a little bit about Iowa football. It is that's kind of my passion. I love college football. I'm not a big fan of pro football. I do. Don't get me wrong. I could still kind of talk a little bit of football with you when it's the pros, but I really like college. I follow Iowa. My dad went to the University of Iowa, graduated there. My son is currently enrolled at the University of Iowa. Been to a lot of games growing up, but this is the season has started. Iowa's 1-0. Decent start. Passing game was shit. Run game was great. 310 yards or 300 300 plus yards on the ground. That was great. Uh, but this week it's the rivalry week with Iowa versus Iowa State. We are playing this in Ames, and it's kind of fitting. We're kind of over here. Field of Dreams isn't too far away from where we're at right now. It was even closer where to the place where I grew up in actually, uh, and Iowa City's on this side of the state. Ames is in the middle, and we had Field of Dreams over there. Is this heaven? No, it's Iowa. So this we call this hate week between Iowa and Iowa State. Is this hell? No, it's Ames. Yeah, hell is Ames. Uh, I used to, for the longest time, out of just good faith, that okay, Iowa State's not playing Iowa, so I will root for them. Oh, good deal. They made it to a bowl game. We'll watch that. We'll root for them. Then I seen a couple of years where they didn't do anything that year. They had a losing record. The Cyclones did, but their key point that whole season, they beat Iowa. Yes, the season is complete. That it really turned me off on them. It seems like the fans, the players, their whole thing there is if they could beat Iowa during the football game, that is their Super Bowl. They can lose every other game as long as maybe 1-12, 1-11, or whatever. How many games we play now? Um, as long as that one win is over Iowa, it's a winning season for them. Uh, really kind of threw me off. I mean, I Iowa fans, we win the game and we give our friends a little shit come Saturday Sunday and on Monday and by Tuesday give two fucks about it. Whereas the years where Iowa State has beat Iowa, it's especially with the social media era where they just don't let it go, and it's all the way up until the kickoff of the next year for the Iowa State game. So I just got a few things with them. It's we have fun, I guess. Um, there was a meme about talking about how many people were drinking and stuff like that. Actually, I can go back. Um, there was another. This was a few years ago. Uh, their guy runs in, blocks our guy. Iowa State blocks the Iowa guy out of the way so he won't get in front of the punt, and then gets hit in the back with the punt. Iowa recovers the ball. We end up winning that game. Um, it was fun. It was hilarious. Um, oh, that did post. Sweet. So there was other good ones. This site's got having a whole bunch of them. Uh, I wouldn't go to Ames. It's a nice facility. I've been there. I've been there. It's all right. Um, I really like the University of Iowa a lot better. just just my go at it. Kirk Ferentz does have his um, tied tied for the most victories by a Big Ten coach. I think he won more, and he's passed Woody Hayes, and that's great and all everything. And I'm praying to God that this is his last year. I have been on the Fire Kirk Ferentz train for well over a decade. Um, I'm tired of seeing mediocre team after mediocre team. We pay you enough fucking money to be consistently in the top 10. Uh, you're paid top 10 in the country money with incentives and everything that we expect you to put our team there. A lot of bad decision making, as far as I'm concerned. We went for a few years there with his son Brian being the offense coordinator, which was just a freaking joke. Uh, but I mean, it didn't really matter. The offense coordinator job for Iowa sucks. You don't actually get to open up the playbook like everybody talks. Oh, look at that. We really opened it up now. Uh, Kirk still calls most of the offense. The offense coordinator doesn't get a lot of chance to do that. It's going to be Iowa is predictable. Now, granted, there's some years where we just have really good line and really good backs that we could power through, but everybody knows what Iowa's going to do. I mean, we had a offense coordinator come up. There was a spread offense, West Coast style coordinator, and we actually had a great quarterback that played 4 years in high school as a starter with that same style of offense, and we never went to that style of offense because Kirk wouldn't allow that to happen. The offense coordinator does not get to be an offensive coordinator underneath Ferentz, and it's a real it's sad, but I think that's where Iowa loses a lot. And Kirk's time is up. He's been there what 25, 20? I don't know. Way too long. In my lifetime, I've seen three coaches at Iowa. three. And I was only alive for like 2 years on one of them. So change is a good thing every now and then. But I wanted there was a great hit that I wanted to see, but I can't seem to find it. But I guess we'll just leave it there. Um, and we'll all we'll meet up again on Thursday again and see what more crazy wild shit's going on. Maybe see if a couple more lefties' heads haven't fucking exploded. It could happen. Nadler's not going to be. That's right. That's right. Jerry Nadler's not seeking re-election. Mr. Poopy Pants is not going to be, which is great. He's another guy that's been there for way too fucking long. Dude's been a blimp, and then he's shrunk down to nothing, and now he's back to being kind of a wobbling penguin. Uh, Literally shitted his pants. Allegedly, it looked like he shit his pants right on national TV and had to do the waddle off. Not that he does waddle to start off with, but um, guy's a fucking nutcase. But luckily, he's going to be not running again. New York can have a better decision on something. Um, I don't know what you're going to do. It's still New York and still haven't cleaned up any of the voter rolls. And they still want to do mail-in balloting, voting, which is still, in my mind, 100% illegal. It should never be done. It's not done in other countries. Absentee balloting is, and that's different than mail-in balloting. But anyway, guys, I think we will wrap that up for today. So we'll hit you back again here on Thursday, 6:45 Iowa heaven time. Um, so, uh, yeah. Alrighty. Peace out, guys.